Well, I think for the sake of people that are here on time, we'll go ahead and get started. I don't know that anyone else is going to join us. If they can, they can watch the recording, I guess. So, anyways, well, thanks. We got a nice intimate group here with Karen, Kathy, and Stacia. So, thanks for joining me on a lovely Monday night. So again, end of week 3. Thanks for completing the survey. If you did, if you didn't, try to finish it today. It helps me just to, again, identify trends, and I think it makes for interesting discussion as we go along this little journey together. So, week 3, what did we learn? I think eating healthy is a difficult thing to get your mind around. I think it's very important. It's important to have a good balanced diet of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Avoid simple sugars as much as possible. That's AMAP. Eat natural products as much as possible. I mean, really, you can't go wrong with that idea. That being said, again, I wouldn't worry about having the occasional cheesecake or chocolate chip cookie or ice cream or whatever. You know, none of this is really geared towards being crazy about our diet. My point is the word healthy really means just about nothing. It's very difficult to interpret what that means. Because eating healthy can cause you to gain weight. You can eat the healthiest foods possible and yet still put on weight. So you eat too much healthy food, you're going to overload your system with calories. Again, you can eat too many cups of very healthy food and nothing's going to change. If you eat unhealthy food but you eat very low quantities of it, you can actually lose weight. So the whole concept is, again, have the right volume of food. Yeah, go ahead and eat as healthy as you reasonably can, but eat the right amounts. So again, it's not so much the type of food that you eat, but how much food you eat. There have been people, you know, whether it's Jared with Subway or there are people who have eaten pizza for 2 months straight and shown that they can lose weight by eating pizza all day long. Really, it's calories, 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 and as we've talked about ad nauseum before, the calories, calories, calories can also be correlated to cups, 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 and so let's stick with those cups. So by week 3, we probably have learned that there are sort of 3 critical elements to weight loss. One is diet, one is exercise, and the other is probably commitment to those 2 things. And what is the most important of those 3 things? In my opinion, the most important thing is commitment. And I think the survey we'll go to in just a second will also allude to that fact. You know, if you don't have the commitment, you're not going to commit yourself to the right diet. You're going to commit yourself to exercise. So again, if you don't have the commitment first, really nothing's going to work. You can have the best diet in the world. You can have the best exercise regimen in the world. But again, if you're not committed to it, you're not going to do well. Commitment to just exercise, again, can be sabotaged by a disproportionate intake of food. Again, you can exercise like a mad person, but if you're taking in too many calories, again, you might be eating healthy food, you might be building muscle mass, but you're certainly not going to have much success at losing weight if that's one of your goals. So you need a commitment to the appropriate dietary intake. And if you do that, you cannot sabotage yourself by a lack of exercise. Not exercising, of course, does not help your progress, but you're not going to be able to sabotage yourself if you have the appropriate dietary intake. Obviously, the ideal is to do all of those things. You need to have the commitment to a good diet, good exercise. That's the most likely scenario where you're going to succeed. So, as of week 3, why did you lose weight or not? If you really stick to the plan, it's pretty much impossible for it not to work. It's basic math and just reality. So if you stick to it, you're going to lose weight. Your weight loss may be a little bit more rapid or a little slower than expected or than predicted. And that's because, of course, you know, we've developed sort of a one-size-fits-all program, and everyone is a little bit different with their metabolism and their activity level, etc. So again, you might have to titrate up or down ever so slightly. Those using a 2-cup deficit should be losing about 1 pound per week. Those using a 4-cup deficit should be losing approximately 2 pounds per week. So, again, getting to the exercise question, how important is it to exercise? I may have shown you this slide before, but again, exercise is important for overall fitness, but you can't exercise yourself skinny. You can work out, again, as much as you want. You will always sabotage yourself if you're not really committed to the right dietary intake. Again, just to reiterate, because I think it's worth repeating, if you exercise a lot, your body is going to say, feed me, because you've just burned off extra calories. Your mind is going to tell you, hey, I just worked out and I deserve a little treat, so you're going to eat a little more because I worked out, so I've earned it, and plus I've burned those extra calories so I can take in a few extra calories. The problem is those few extra calories aren't as much as you might expect. A lot of times exercising for a full hour may only be offset, or you may only burn off enough calories to account for maybe 1 cup, or at the most 2 cups of food. And so, again, most of us, when we think of giving ourselves a treat after exercising, it's not an 8-ounce cup of food. It's usually about a 4-cup piece of pie or something like that. So, again, you really have to be careful, and you have to very consciously overrule both your body and your mind and say, you know what, I'm limiting my intake, I'm sticking to my program, I'm not starving myself, but I'm maintaining the appropriate intake during my diet program when I'm trying to lose weight, and then I'm going to maintain the appropriate intake once I get to my maintenance phase. And the other thing is sometimes you have to lose weight in order to tolerate exercise. You know, some people, unfortunately, because of obesity, because of extra weight, have really worn out their knees and their hips, and so it's difficult for them to exercise. So ultimately, they have to lose weight first in order to be able to even tolerate the exercise. So my non-scientific Meyer theorem is 90% diet, 10% exercise. You know, that's pretty much how it boils down. That when it all boils down to, you know, what's more important, diet versus exercise, 90% of the time I'm going to tell you it's diet. So again, same slide I've shown you before. Reviewing the concepts, you're going to have a balanced diet. You're going to measure anything that contains calories, whether it's liquid or solid. You're going to try and spread your meals and your food out as much as possible throughout the day. And the weight loss phase, as you're losing weight, is going to prepare you for the maintenance phase. So whatever you're eating to get you to the point of losing the appropriate amount of weight is sort of an overcompensation for ultimately what you're going to do at the maintenance level. And once you get to the maintenance level, you feel like you're stuffing yourself with plenty of food because your dietary intake is going to likely go up by 2 to 4 cups once you reach that maintenance phase. So again, exercise is important for fitness, but it's not as critical as diet. And really, you just have to stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. And then the other thing is set goals for yourself, whether they're exercise goals, weight goals, health goals, whatever they are. You need to set some sort of a goal for yourself, because if you don't know where you're going, you're just never going to get there because you don't know where there is. And so again, set goals for yourself and set them as attainable goals so you don't set yourself up for disappointment or failure. You know, give yourself something reasonable to achieve, but also challenge yourself. So again, just that visual reminder again, our 8 ounces or 6 of these little green bands is equal to 8-ounce cup. You know, this is my, I have one of those electronic Fitbit scales, and so it's really nice. It syncs with my my home network, and so, you know, when I sort of developed this whole program, you know, my weight topped out at about, here is about 213 pounds. I wanted to get down to 197, and so I, you know, essentially right here you can see this nice linear weight loss that occurred as I put myself on my own diet and lost 16 pounds. Again, I didn't have to lose a tremendous amount of weight, but again, over the course of about 2 months, I lost my 16 pounds, and then I was able to maintain my weight very predictably after that. And so again, that's, you can see what happened to me when I was trying to figure out how to diet and how to exercise and how to really maintain my weight, and then you see how once you get it dialed in, the understanding really comes through. And so again, I think that's a very telling graph to look at. Here's again that body mass index scale. As we discussed, it's not the most perfect measure of appropriate weight, but again, really important to see. You know, have you moved over 1, 2 ticks along the BMI scale, even 3 at this point? I mean, a lot of people that are reporting their weights right now have moved over 1, 2, even 3 numbers on the BMI table. So again, that's really impressive. And you know, when I you know, sort of at my worst, I was right here at about the 30 level, you know, right in that obese range, and I'm happily at 27. You know, for my body type, whatever muscle mass as a male, you know, I just naturally feel fine at 200. Am I still considered overweight on the BMI table? Yeah, I am, but I'm okay with that. Again, I think I'd be a pretty scrawny 177 pounder at 6 feet tall. So I don't really intend to get down to that level. So here's the survey, and I again appreciate those of you that had the chance to fill out the survey for me. And again, it's not just for me, it's for all of us. But so here are the unfiltered results. So we've had 17 people respond, and again, it's this group as well as one or two previous groups that have filled this out. So again, the first question is always, did you read the book? Hopefully by week 3, everyone has read the book, which we're 100% here, so that's good. So how well have you followed your cup allowances? It's sort of across the board. You know, there's sort of a natural, sort of a bell curve here, with some difficulty being right in the middle. Some people doing it easily, some people just can't follow it. How hungry have you been? One person not at all hungry, a little hungry, somewhat hungry. Really, again, if you're doing the diet appropriately, you should be probably here. You should be either a little hungry or somewhat hungry if you're trying to lose weight. If you're trying to maintain a weight, you should be here. You should be at the non-hungry phase because, again, you've got it dialed in. How energetic have you been? Again, a fairly bell-shaped, sideways bell-shaped curve where people are sort of right on baseline, some more energetic, some a little bit less. Nobody's way on the extreme, which is, again, encouraging. How have you been using the ProportionFit diet to lose weight? One person is not really even trying to lose weight, so I'm not sure what to do with that data. But some people doing 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cup deficit, 6 cup deficit, and a majority of people, or at least almost 40% of people, are eating to the weight they want to be. And what kind of results have we seen with that? So after 3 weeks, what have people done? And again, remember what this looks like here, because I'm going to show you sort of the filtered results. But anyways, we have 2 people with no weight loss, 1, 2 pound, 4 people with 4 pounds of weight loss, 3 people, it looks like, with 6 pounds, 3 with 8, 1 with 5. Then we have some overachievers here at 10, 12, 13 pounds of weight loss. So again, a wide range, but again, remember what that looks like, and I'm going to show you the filtered results in just a second. What's been the biggest challenge? Again, very commonly, it's the temptations all around us. I deal with that all the time. There were cookies in our lounge, and I was eating them. It's a self-motivation. Again, those two come together. And then the hunger. You know, again, you're going to be hungry, and at some point you sort of just become used to it, and it's sort of just a known entity, and you get used to it being there. What's your favorite part? Again, sort of a variety of things that it's easy to follow. Hopefully it makes relative sense. You can use it for a lifetime and it's not a fad. So that helps. Well, let's see what this comment says. Maybe not. Well, we'll come back to that. So after week 3, and again, look at this chart. How confident are you that you can lose 10 pounds in the first 6 weeks? All over the board, anywhere from, you know, some people are convinced, but there are some people that are not at all confident of it. And so again, all across the board. And the last question, again, here's the interesting one. Again, how closely have you followed it? You know, fairly closely, somewhat, followed slightly, not at all. So if we take this information, again, notice the spread here. Notice the spread here on that confidence. And notice the spread here on the weight loss. So if we go to the top now, and we filter these results. Now we're just gonna look at the people that answered question number 10, and I'll go down to that. So question 10 is, just to review, question 10 is, there it is. How closely have you followed the ProportionFit diet in the last 3 weeks? Again, I'm only going to look at the people that answered fairly closely or exactly as described, because again, the people that maybe are just following it slightly or somewhat, you know, you can't really look at those results too closely. So anyways, they read the book. So again, look at this now. How easily have you been able to follow your cup allowances? Again, the people that are following it according to the plan are having some difficulty. They're doing it easily or somewhat easily. So again, doing reasonably well. The people that are doing it according to plan are a little hungry or somewhat hungry. As you remember, there was one person that said not hungry. Again, if they're following the plan, you should be hungry. So again, this alludes to the fact that those actually following the plan are doing the right thing. How are people on the plan? Again, same bell-shaped curve around baseline, a little bit more energetic than less energetic. How have you been using it? Subtracting 4 cups, 6 cups, or eating to the weight you want to be. 60% eating to the weight they want to be of this group. And now here's the most important thing, I think. So look at this. So now, if you remember before, we had some people that had no weight loss. We had a smattering here at 2, 4, 5 pounds. Now we have one person with a 1 pound weight loss. And I think the person on this phone call can tell us why that is, because she's having fun down in Florida. But the others that, again, have been following it are doing really well. You know, 6 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, 13 pounds, 12 pounds. Again, having a really good weight loss. And if you look at that as an average, for the people that are following it closely, the average turns out to be, again, I'm just doing quick math in my head, but it ends up being right around 8 pounds. So on average, it's about 8 pounds per person after 3 weeks. And so again, if you're following it either exactly or fairly closely, you are losing on average, and again, on average, 8 pounds after 3 weeks. And so that's really impressive, and I think really a testament to the fact that this actually does work. And the other thing I think it does, again, same trials and tribulations, same things that work for us or don't work for us, but now look at this. Here's that. How confident are you that you will lose 10 pounds in the first 6 weeks? So look at the chart now as compared to before. When you had the people, including the people that really weren't following it very closely, they weren't confident. They were mildly confident. Whereas now if you look at just the group that's really following the diet according to the plan, they're much more confident. They sort of see the results and they see that it does in fact make sense. So again, I think it's really interesting to me. Hopefully you find it somewhat interesting to see those results side by side, because again, it's a testament to the fact that if you do actually follow it, you will do well. So as I said before, you almost can't not lose weight as long as you just follow the plan. So what do we learn after week 3? I think the commitment is really just incredibly important here. If nothing else, just looking at those 2 surveys, the people are committed to following it, to doing it exactly as described or fairly closely to described, they're the ones that are doing really well. The people that aren't as committed, that aren't doing it as closely, they're having a little more trouble. So again, you need the appropriate dietary intake. It helps to have the exercise thrown in as well. Hopefully you're paying attention to what you eat and drink, and if not, you're going to notice it in your weight. Hopefully you're becoming more comfortable at measuring volumes. Hopefully you've set an activity goal for yourself. And again, this is really working for those that are following the program. And as I've said many times before, you almost can't go wrong. So go ahead, and if you guys have any questions, please type them in. I'm going to actually answer a page while I'm waiting for you to ask me a question here. So I'm going to mute myself for just a second. So please send something via chat if you have any questions for me. You guys have to have some questions or comments. Anyone? So the plan is to have one more meeting in 2 weeks. Sorry, hold on a second. I'll be right back with you with just a second. Sorry about that, guys. Poor planning on my part. I was on call tonight, so anyway, sorry about that. So there's one question here about the next meeting. So we're going to meet again in 2 weeks. We have a meeting scheduled for whatever date that would be. I think it's February 9th. So in 2 weeks, that'll be the end of week 5. And then in that group, actually, I'm going to have some tag-alongs. So the group that did this same program starting right after Thanksgiving. I'm going to have them join us for that meeting. So for them, that'll be essentially an every month. It'll be an every 4 to 6 week sort of meeting for them. And then I'm planning on doing at least once a month meetings. What we'll do is, as I do these groups, the prior groups can sort of tag along, and so we'll have sort of a bigger group meeting than once a month. And I'm going to do it sort of in perpetuity. I don't know. I'm going to do it for maybe even a year, just once a month. So that's the game plan. And I'll send details on that in the future after that next meeting. But again, the next meeting is scheduled for 2 weeks from now. You guys have any other questions? Looks like Stacia maybe it dropped off. Just so you know, Karen, if you're trying to talk to me, you are muted right now, just so if you... All right, well, I guess have a great couple of weeks. If you guys have any questions, of course, just give me a call. You know my email address, and you have my cell number, so don't hesitate to use any of them. And keep up the good work. You guys are doing great, and really, again, just stick with it. You can't lose, or you can lose, whatever way you want to look at it. So keep up the good work, and last call for any questions. Otherwise, I guess I'm going to sign off. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Kathy. And you guys have, and Karen and Stacia, if you're still there. Have a great night, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care. Oh, and one other thing, I guess. I might start another group. So if you know of anyone else that's interested, please just send me an email. I might start another group in about 2 or 3 weeks. Thanks.